says the law of God, schmaw of God. We don't need that. Let's have our genetic scientists, our business leaders, our politicians, our religious leaders, all being conducted by familiar spirits. God said, don't do it. You're going to be defiled by them. I'm telling you, there is a defilement coming. God said, don't do it. Notice this verse, Psalm chapter 2, verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. Now, I've used this verse several times because, to me, this verse here in Psalm 2, it proves that there is a conspiracy led by familiar spirits, led by a council of familiar spirits who are working together, who counsel with the kings of the earth, who then take counsel together, let's say at a Bilderberger meeting, or a council on foreign relations, or a G20, or whatever behind the scenes work they do. They sit together and they're being led by familiar spirits and they take counsel together. That is the very definition of a conspiracy. Let us take counsel. They take counsel together against the Lord and against His anointed, saying, let us break their bands and cast away their cords from us. Now, I want to stop right here because I have used this verse before, describing the bands that actually hold society together, like the wedding band. We see all this. Nancy Pelosi, at the winter solstice of all days, decides to sign in the Don't Ask, Don't Tell ban in the military. And of course, Barack Obama signed it. Now our country is going to hell in a very, very large, very fast-moving handbasket. And so anyway, so we are breaking the bands that bond society together. But I think there's more to it, because I found this last night. I found this. And I'm going to share it with you. You're going to be the first people in the whole world to know this, okay? The bands. Think about the bands. In Colossians chapter 2, and not holding the head, from which all the body by joints and bands, having nourishment ministered and knit together, increased with the increase of God. The bands that he's talking about are inside the body. They're what's holding the body together. Now, a lot of people have sent me information on this idea called laminin. Laminin is this cross-shaped thing that kind of holds all the cells together, and I get that. But down below the laminin level is the DNA bands. The DNA bands that hold everything together. You see, DNA is bundled together in what's called chromosomes, and they're all banded together inside these 46 chromosomes. The word bands is mentioned exactly 46 times in the King James Bible. So the genetic scientists, being inspired by the Spirit, by the familiar spirits and the wizards, okay, they decide that they can decode the human genome so that they can break the bands asunder that bind it together, that have it sealed up. The book that's sealed up, Revelation chapter 4 and 5 and 6, the book that's sealed up, they're going to break the seals. They're going to break the bands, the 46 chromosomes. They're going to crack the code so that they can rewrite the book of God. That number 46, you remember John chapter 2 verse 20, then said the Jews, 40 and 6 years was this temple in building, wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. Remember Jacob and Boaz, they're at the front of the temple, 23 cubits apiece. They represent the bands. They represent what binds everything together. They represent the DNA and the chromosome pairs of mankind. That number 46 can be seen in the house of the Temple Lodge, where you have 33 pillars and 13 steps. That's 46. Represents the 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the 13 degrees of York Rite Freemasonry. You also have the Temple of the Antichrist, the Lincoln Memorial, with 36 pillars on the outside, 10 pillars on the inside, hidden. That's 46 pillars. You have an American president who received a deadly wound in his head. Guess how old he was? I'll have more information coming out this year on that. You'll have to watch and see. But he was 46, in case you didn't get that. Guess I won't even tell you. I'm going to make you wait. Okay, you'll have to wait for this one. Okay? New video coming out. Haven't recorded it yet, but I'm getting close. Called The American Goddess. Okay? There's something about her that's very, very interesting. Has to do with a number 46. We'll see more of that later. Have I got you in suspense? You'll see. All right. Here's another article. Mouse baby. I have 2 daddies. And at first for stem cell technology, researchers have produced mice with 2 fathers. That's just sick. The mice developed at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston contain no maternal DNA. Instead, their genomes are made up of contributions from 2 male mice. The technology could eventually be used to breed prize livestock or endangered species in which few or no females remain, according to research. That's not really why they want to do this. Any practical application in humans is a long way off. Well, until the next Harry Potter movie comes out, then it'll be like real close, okay? Somebody will get working on this thing. My goodness. Let's stop and think about this for a minute. This is a direct violation, contradiction of how God designed nature. He said in Genesis 2:18, "And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make an help meet for him." Now, our wives don't just help us think. They don't just help us decorate the house. They don't just help us. They don't just help us, find our way, giving us directions. Why don't you pull over and ask somebody? I don't want to pull over. They don't just help us with that. They help us carry on the species. They help us carry on the bloodline. Genesis 2 verse 21, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man." Now I want to stop right here, because remember the Adams. Remember the Adam, the first Adam, the book of the generations of Adam in Genesis 5, the book of the generation of Jesus Christ. Anytime you see Adam, there's going to be a similarity between him and Christ. And so watch this. Adam goes into a deep sleep. Sleep is a picture of death in the Bible. He receives a wound in his side. And out of that wound, God makes the woman, the bride, his wife, the church. It's a beautiful, beautiful... This is God's way. Genetic scientists who play God say, we can do that. We can do that. We'll make it better than what it was. We'll defile the very nature of nature. And we'll make an embryo, instead of out of male and female, out of 2 males. We don't need the other part. We don't need what God said. We can do it without what God said. Look at this. "And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Get out your King James Bible, or just stare at the screen. Put it on pause. And count the number of words that Adam said. After the words Adam said, count those words. There's 46 of them. Because the male joins with the female, his 23 chromosomes and her 23 chromosomes come together, and they form the 46 chromosomes of him and her together, making the one flesh. See, this Bible's right. Making the one flesh of the man and the woman cleaving together and producing a little child. 46 words here in this King James Bible. Okay, I don't want to hear your arguments. Well, the NIV says it better, and the NASB is more literal to the Greek and Hebrew. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to hear it, because I have a book that matches my life right here, and I think I'll stick with it. But it's the very nature of God. It's the very nature of nature that the man and the woman come together to form the new baby. And this is a picture of prophecy. "For this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall be joined unto his wife." This is Ephesians 5. "And they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church." You see, it'll just destroy the entire foundation of everything that God has in store. Because you know what God's doing right now? He's trying to bring a bride to His Son, Jesus Christ. The fulfillment of that will be in Revelation, at the end of time. But the genetic scientists who play God saying, you know what, we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need all that stuff. Okay? Now remember,